Uh, when working with J&J, I don't know how many of you know the brand name called the Tylenol.
Tylenol, which is like a paracetamol.
Like a crocin.
Yeah, crocin.
In some places it's called Panadol, but in US the brand name is called as Tylenol. And the Tylenol had a market share of something like 70% at a point of time. This way back in 1980. And there was a call that came in through the public line to the CEO office, saying that it was a ransom call, and said that there are 7 bottles of Tylenol tablet was tampered with the cyanide, and there are 7 people are going to die if they consume cyanide. And this
so
person,
7 bottles out of
across the United
hundreds
States.
of thousands.
Across the United States, they said we have kept these bottles where we have put a cyanide, and we will not tell you till such time you pay $10 million ransom. Right? Now the question is, if you as a corporation, running the corporation, you are in a dilemma, what do I do? Right? First thing, natural dilemma direction is to report to the police or the FBI, and let the regulators, let the lawmakers take a call as to how do you resolve this challenge. The second one, which is the very important thing for which the CEO won an award from Ronald Reagan, he called his board and he said, we are having a challenge. There is a dilemma that we have. The dilemma is, I'm going to recall billions of tablets lying all over the United States. I will go on to the television and tell people, but don't consume Tylenol, and take those tablets, put it into the waste basket, and we'll provide the baskets and all those stuff. Mechanics will be explained. The downside is, this company at that time, was not that, this had a large proportion to their business. The profits would be tumbling down, your market share will go down, people will not trust your brand anymore, and obviously it will have a big hit on the Wall Street, your stock prices will plummet. And management team took a call, they went around, had a conversation, what do we do? Because they said, let's take a credo, which is our lighthouse, and said, the credo says the first responsibility is to our customers, mothers and fathers and patients who use our products. It's a very first responsibility. The first thing what they did is that we are going to follow the credo and we will use a lighthouse. They went to the television, they announced, and obviously there's a panic in the country. They rented some huge football stadiums in different parts of the country, in New York, Los Angeles, in different parts of the country. They brought all the goods which was taken up from the market and they destroyed it, and market share went down to 2% or 3% in those 2 or 3 months' time. The only thing what he said is that I'm going to give a challenge to my R&D people and say now we need to come back to the market with a tamper-proof Tylenol, and they came up with this. They're the first company to come up with product which is called the caplet, where you cannot tamper with the tablet anymore, capsule.
So they're the ones that came up with the capsules.
Yeah, it's called the caplet. Caplet tablet of a paracetamol. And within 2 months' time, they came back into the market. Obviously, the sale was down. They have to write off something like $50 million at that time. And within 3 or 4 months' time, if I'm not mistaken, I remember, and they came back to the market share went back to 78%.
Wow.
It was bigger than what they were. So one of the biggest lessons which we learned, that's at a global level, but I have some other Indian example also I can talk about personally. But there is a price attached to taking the dilemma, ethical dilemma, resolving, following a true north, short term, but in long term, you do come back, you do win. The problem is that there is a fear for people to take that direction, because short term it could be a disaster where you may even lose your job, you may get fired. Why would I take a decision when I know I'm going to get fired, right? But in reality, he won the award from the United States for being a responsible citizen of the country. So that's a very high point of an organization where they resolved ethical dilemma using the lighthouse.